Hello everyone and welcome to yet another PTC Nordic Talks webinar, where we are happy today by having Greta Braun from Chalmers University of Technology for a session on a very hot topic these days, and that is the future of work and the big skills transformation. But first, as always, a very quick introduction about myself, and my name is Torbjörn Pedersen and I'm the Alliance Manager for PTC in the Nordics, and we are running these weekly webinars on every Friday. Same time where we also invite customers and partners for some inspiration on digital transformation to see what is possible and how to make things happen. And all the past webinars have also been recorded and are to be found on the registration site. And the agenda for today is first a quick overview of PTC by my colleague Carl from the customer success team, and then Greta will start by introducing herself, touch base on a few challenges, how to address these, and then explain some of the outcomes. And at the end, we are also having a Q&A session, so please keep your questions to the end. So over to you, Carl.
Yep, thank you. So PTC is an international software company with headquarters based in Boston, and we are developing software mainly for manufacturing companies since 1985. We offer tools for the digital transformation, such as CAD for design, PLM for managing data, IoT for connecting products or manufacturing operations, and augmented reality to visualize and interact with the digital thread. To you, Greta.
Thank you so much, Carl and Torbjörn. And I'm going to start with just warning you that my voice is not the best. I'm really happy if it stays for these 20 minutes that I'm going to take you to this topic, future of work and the big skills transformation. So my name is Greta Braun and I'm a PhD student at Chalmers University of Technology. And I work in the department Production Systems, where we have a group that focuses on future of work and human-centered automation. And some of you have maybe been to the SciLab at Lindholmen here in Gothenburg, where we showcase ways of collaborating with machines and how to automate in a human-centered way. And my focus lies on how the work will look like in the future and how we can support people in the skills transformation. And when we look at the topic of future of work in literature, we see that there are these main topics that research focuses on right now. It's about work forms, it's about future skills. There's a lot of talk about occupational health, work-life balance, leadership is also a big topic, corporate strategies for future work. Also a lot about infrastructure, so how to build platforms that enable collaboration and other ways to organize the work, how to implement the future of work, how the workplace itself shall look like, and also maybe where it is. We talk a lot about remote working right now. And also about work styles. And as I said, my focus are future skills. So this will be also the focus of this minutes that we will have together here. I want to take you on a little journey from around the 1980s, because it is quite interesting to talk about the future, but it's also quite interesting to see how has different happenings or trends impacted us and our work in the past. So in the 1980s, the computers came, and of course, this changed a lot how we did our work and what tasks people had in an office, but also in a factory. We also in 1995 introduced the Schengen area, which made us collaborate and have even more simple trade between the different countries in Europe. And also when we look all over the globe, we have an increased globalization, which also, of course, impacts how we do our work. We move more and more into the cities. That's also something that has been going on since 100 years, but it's also like becoming more and more. And we have an increasing population in our world. And this doesn't mean that we also have an increasing population in Europe. It's actually the opposite. I'm going to show you some numbers. And this is also a big factor when we talk about future of work. Who is going to do the work that we will have in the future? And how many people will we have and from which generations? And also a big impact on our work is, of course, technology. So we have different technologies that can support us, that can predict things for us, that can make us make more smart decisions. And last but not least, of course, sustainability. The voices around this become louder and louder, and it's very important that we make sustainable decisions in our businesses and that everybody is equipped to make sustainable decisions, even if that's not the case yet today. But companies need to, get prepared because there will be more and more policies as well from the governments to follow. And the European Commission has recently coined the concept of Industry 5.0. And they see the industry as something that is human-centric, resilient, and sustainable. And they created this concept because they found that within Industry 4.0, we focus a lot on the technologies and how to make things more efficient. But right now, we have different challenges. We need to become more resilient, to be able to adapt very quickly if, for example, a pandemic comes, or we are quite dependent on some insecure energy sources, for example, now with the Russian war. So how do we get more resilient? And we need, of course, jobs or people who do jobs to create a resilient industry. We need to create a human-centric industry where people can grow and be empowered and everybody has a place here. And we need a sustainable industry. So we don't destroy our world. So all this means, of course, that people need, they need the right skills to be able to create this, because it's a big challenge. And for companies to reach the work 4.0 are the lack of knowledge, unflexible leadership and organizational structures, and also conflicting company priorities. This is the results from the research of 2 universities in Switzerland. And they have created, together with different companies, a working group called Future Work Group, where they have a huge network of different companies, and they collected this data. And it shows that the biggest challenge for companies to reach this work 4.0, so we're not even talking about 5.0, but reach work 4.0, where we use digital technologies in a way that lets our business grow. The biggest challenge is that they lack knowledge. And that's one of the reasons why I find it so interesting to look into this. And there are more and more discussions around how do we create a workforce that can contribute to to reach the stage where we use the digital technologies in a way that that we create a sustainable and resilient industry. Also, the World Economic Forum, they have a huge network of companies. They also say that more than 70% of the global workforce will need to enhance their skills by 2025. So this is a lot of people who need new skills, a lot of people that need to learn something new. And to that, it comes also that we have less people in our workforce, at least in Europe, in a lot of countries. I don't want to go too deep into these pictures, but you can see in the first picture that the numbers, that some countries have high rates of 65 plus people who go into retirement. So this means a decreasing workforce. So it's the one with the dark orange. And in the next picture, we see that a lot of countries in Europe have very low rates of birth. And this means that we also have a decreasing workforce. And in the last picture, we see also that a lot of countries have quite low migration rates. Germany, as you can see in the middle, has the highest migration rates. And also southern Sweden has quite high, and some parts of France and some parts of Turkey has high migration rates. But a lot of other countries have low rates of migration and also low rates of birth, which means we have less people, but at the same time we need more competencies and more people to be able to face all the challenges. We have also from the World Economic Forum insights on which jobs are on an increasing demand, and we have jobs that have decreasing demand. And if we then think about that, we need more people in these jobs. It's quite interesting to see that a lot of people are afraid to lose their jobs. And that has always been the case in all the industrial revolutions, that people are afraid to lose their value and feel that they're not valuable for the company anymore, and the company wants to get rid of them. But actually the challenge is, how can we help the people from the right side that have a job today that is not demanded that much anymore to the increasing side? And I'm not saying that the jobs on the right side will not be needed at all anymore, but we will need less of them, and we need more from the side, from the left side. So how can we help the people on the right side to upskill to the left side? And that is what the World Economic Forum also means with, we need 70% of the workforce to upskill, because people need to change what they work with today. So they need to do a new job. And therefore they need new skills. But how do you grow in a world where the only constant is change? For an individual on the right side here, how do you know that you are affected by the big transformations that are ongoing? How do you know how you are affected and what new things you should learn in order to be able to do another similar job? That's a very big challenge, and on different levels we're discussing about this in our group, on national level, in EU level. And yeah, we know that we need to support the employees, and we know that they need to learn something new, and we need to support them in this. And LinkedIn, they also do a workplace report. They have a huge database, of course, because they also have this learning platform, and they have a lot of insights from all the people using their platform. And they say that the top 3 reasons for employees to learn are: first, if it helps them to stay up to date in their field; second, if it is personalized specifically for their interests and career goals; and thirdly, if it helps them to get another job internally, get promoted, or get closer to reaching their career goals. So when we motivate people, we need to think about these things. So we need to show them that this either helps them to stay up to date in their field. We need to give them personalized advice, and we need to show them that this will help them to get another job that is needed. And right now, I'm trying to figure out how we could do this personalized support. And the idea is there, but it's very hard to create it, so to say, to give an employee personalized support, to look at the employee and see, okay, you need to learn this in order to still be able to deliver value to a company. So this is my research challenge, and I'm looking at, okay, how are the trends impacting the work? What new skills do people need? And see, okay, what is the huge demand? What is the demand for skills? We have this huge demand, and we have, which is very good. On the other side, we have a big supply of learning resources. There are so many actors out there. We have, of course, universities, but we also have private companies who sell courses and modules online, but also on site. So we have a demand side for new skills, and we have a big supply side. But the challenge is how to find each other. And since the need of the people on the left side is very individual, they need some kind of personalized support. And that is what we call matching. And we want to find out how we could match people to the right learning resources, so that they can feel, as you remember what I said before, what motivates them, that they feel that they have personalized guidance to what is important for them. And right now we're testing this in the project Engineer 4.0 that I'm part of. And for you who haven't heard about this, it's an upskilling platform for future manufacturing. So everybody who works with manufacturing will find very interesting modules here to upskill. It's developed in cooperation with 13 Swedish universities. And there are these modules until now, and it's currently expanding as well. So we will have even more modules. And you can see here what could be interesting for you to learn about in order to do your job better, or in order to be able to innovate in these areas. And we are currently looking at how can we give personalized support to a user of the platform, so that you get some questions when you enter the system, and you will get guidance and suggestions on, okay, we can see that your job, your industry, your company is affected by the trends in a certain way, and we can give suggestions to this person on what to learn. So this is something that we're currently trying to figure out. And I just wanted to say as well, if somebody's interested in this, you can look at Infonia 4.0. There's a website. And the key takeaways, because I'm running out of time, is we already and we will lack people and competence in industry. It's not the other way around, that we will need to get rid of people or something. It's the opposite. We need more people in industry, and especially we need more competence in industry to be able to face all the challenges that our world has today. Secondly, I would like you to think about what are the barriers, but also what are the incentives for people to learn. So what challenges are there, but also what can motivate them. And personalized upskilling is key to help people to learn what they need. And I would like to open the discussion, and feel free to ask something now, and also feel free to reach out to me if you want to discuss more about this. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot, Greta, for sharing all your interesting findings here around this very hot topic. So as you said, now over to the Q&A session. So please go ahead and open up for any questions you might have here. Don't be shy. Come on. I think we have one from Charlotta. Hi there, good to see you.
Yes.
Right.
Greta, so I've actually written a mail to on LinkedIn for you as well. We are I think the technical industry is forgetting, well, we are trying, but we are not tapping into 50% of the population, which are the women. And I have a daughter that is 16 years old. She has just started in the gymnasium. And I was taking her home with a friend from an activity the other evening. And the friend, a girl, she has chosen the technical direction. And I was like, that's cool. And they said, but I think I'm going to switch because they're only guys in the class. And when you're 16 years old, it's all about fashion, Snapchat, cool parties, and friends, right? And we are doing so much on a corporate level. I think big corporate companies are doing a lot to, make the women, give them a community so they feel comfortable if they have stupid questions, But I almost think that we should start doing that earlier. Based upon this conversation I just overheard in the car, and I just turned around and I was like, don't you leave that technical direction, because you are going to get amazing job opportunities in the future. And she was like, okay, but she was quite overwhelmed of my reaction because I'm so passionate about tapping into these 50% of our population.
Yeah, it's a super important topic, and I'm very thankful that you brought it up. Sometimes I also show numbers about the gender perspective on this topic in my presentations, and it's definitely something that needs to be dealt with already early in school, about the stigma around what is sexy to do as a girl and what is sexy to do as a boy, already when they are in teenager age. And I remember for myself, it was not something that I wanted to do when I was a teenager, to work with technology. And now it's very cool because it's, you're around the newest things that happen and you can feel that you make an impact. And there are good initiatives. I worked, for example, with Production for Future and Smarta Fabriker before I started with a PhD, where we try to engage young females by lifting cool role models that work with technology, to show that it is maybe not how they think it is, but a lot of things are already quite like set in your mind, because you have watched a lot of movies where the smart girl maybe looks in a certain way and she doesn't get a boy in the end of the film, or stuff like this. So it's it's a big topic and we can talk about it forever. But I also think that it's important to work with the culture in the workplace. It's not only about the pipeline into the industry, but also about keeping the women that are in the industry and also helping them grow. Because if we look at how many women are, if we go up the hierarchy, so to say, there are less and less women. It's like nothing in the end in the C-suite. So we have to work with the culture. I know Harvard Business Review has made an investigation on that and said that 41% of women leave the tech industry after 10 years, compared to 17% of men. So why do nearly half of the women leave the tech industry after 10 years? That's a big challenge.
Yeah.
Thank you, Greta.
Yeah, we have another question from Graham as well. So please go ahead, Graham.
Yeah, hi, Greta. Thanks for a great presentation. My question really follows on from what Charlotte was saying, because I think I do some volunteering with schools here in the UK around trying to encourage young people into technical and engineering careers. And I think there's a big misconception that, both not just with girls, but with boys as well, that you have to be strong in mathematics to have a career in technology. And a lot of people are discouraged from following this path because they say, I'm not good at mathematics, I don't like it. Do you think this is a barrier that we have to overcome?
Definitely. And I think you have a good point there, and I think that there are, at least in Sweden, some good initiatives right now. So for example, on the school plan for the mathematics in Sweden, they have now that they also have to program quite early. So you get into this quite naturally and see that it actually can be fun. I don't know if all teachers do it in a good way, etc. But I think it's good to implement it in school already to see that it can be fun, and not that it's something only for the smart kids that can choose to do this on the side, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's very important, and I think there's a lot of wrong preconceptions about what it is like to work in industry. Also, when you look at factory work, a lot of people think that it's loud and dirty and everything, but it's not like that anymore if you visit a factory today.
Yeah, there's a lot we can do to change the perception, I think, if we get to people at a young enough age to give them the right impression and the right vision of what they can do in this industry.
Yeah.
Thanks, Greta.
Thank you.
Thanks. We have another question also from Daniel.
Yes, hi, Greta, and thank you for the presentation. Good to see you again, old colleague. So some experience I have that I think is relevant here is that it's extremely difficult to find people for these modern roles that you mentioned early on, and also to reskill people for these roles. Because I mean, I've been a part of this Ingenieur 4.0 program, and this is quite good to give a like introductory level and some basic skills. But then compared to the pure data scientists that come out from university today that have studied this for many years, do you think there's anything we can do to kind of bridge that gap so that a 40-year-old female engineer then, let's say, can reschool to become a data scientist without actually having to practically restart their career?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I don't think that you can go from, I don't know, assembly worker to data scientist in one step, but maybe it can be several steps. So you learn something so that you can be maybe a maintenance engineer or a technician, and then the next step is not that big. You know a little bit about the systems and how to deal with data, and then you can take the Ingenieur 4.0 course and learn how to analyze data and machine learning, etc. So I think it needs to go in steps. And also, I hear a little bit from your question, maybe the challenge to do this along your work, because you cannot stop working and you have your life, and you cannot just take free time to full-time studying, of course. So companies also need to create the right circumstances for their employees and give time and resources for that. And I think a lot of companies do that. So they give them time and they buy the courses for them, for example, from the Ingenieur 4.0 platform. I don't know if that answers your question a little bit.
Yeah, I think if it's okay, I can just share one experience you made me think of from my previous employer, SKF. Many of my colleagues in the digital transformation part of SKF started actually as assembly workers or maintenance engineers in the plants. They were interested in digitalization, and over the course of 10 years, did some PLC programming and so on, and really learned the ropes. And then, by working their way up through the organization, became digitalization experts. So maybe that is something, now I say you as academia, can push as well. That is just this alternative route actually to learn by doing. Because there's a lot of support for it if you start.
Yeah, that's super interesting, and I want to talk to these people that you maybe can help me with.
Of course, Greta, just contact me outside this.
Perfect.
So guys, time is unfortunately running out. Very interesting discussions, I think. And again, I mean, thanks everyone for joining. And of course, a special thanks to you, Greta, for a fantastic overview here. So with that, I wish you all a fantastic weekend and hope to see you also next week for the next Nordic Talks. Take care. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.